Inside Out.
Olezi nkwanisa nate ku program ya The Inside Out nga bulijjo oliyo tyando munange webale emirimu gyokola nze Simon Muyanga tutaya ku mukutu guno gwa SML News UG abamu bagita SML News Online TV ntera okubona abagenyi baffe ku nsonga zaffe z'ebyobufuzi ne leo nina Professor Michael Kaluya Munnayuganda awangalira mu America nenga atera okujja tukyalira ku olw'oluusi okunyumya ku nsonga zaffe sebo nsanyusa okulaba
nsanyusa sebo
muliyo mutya
tuliso
mirimu gyebale
kale so
tuli mu byabufuzi bw'ojja mu Uganda oba wa kibiina ki
sina kibiina
otya omuntu omuyivu
sina kibiina mu America and independent ne wano ni independent because I need to analyze
kisoboka ekyo
I need to analyze I need to look at all the political players analyze.
So kyotegeeza gwe ebyobufuzi bya Uganda owulira biwulire tobifaako.
I'm not only a professor of economics but I'm also a professor of political science.
Ate professor wa political science nga talina kibiina.
Ayigiriza abaana to be able to make independent decisions. I don't want to be biased.
Okay, in summary, katogere ku byobufuzi bya Uganda. Obiraba oti Uganda mu byobufuzi nse kusanyusa olaba ekula olaba ekyuka twongera kutereza twongera kuwonoona mu byobufuzi.
Nze ndowooza nti political space ekyali small for all the players.
Kikyotegeeza bugamba political space?
Kyentegeeza nti the government in power dominates the space against the other political players.
Tukyali mu Lungereza era mu Luganda tukinyonyole tutya
nti kangambe playing field mu bigambo bya politics mu byobufuzi ekyali ntono nnyo kubanga abali mu government at the moment they have dominated that space oba ekifo ekyo mu byobufuzi today okukola ki
ekyo tukinenyezaani obanga nti abali mu gavumenti batwala ekifo kinene nnyo beegazanyiza nnyo mu byobufuzi okusinga
abalala
okinenyezaani
government
ate etya
eri mu power because the government in power is supposed actually to push a free democratic society where ideas are expressed freely.
But it has allowed everybody who wishes to play politics to join. The freedom is too much that some of you choose not to belong anywhere.
No, not necessarily. For me, as I said, I analyze how the different political players are actually doing it or playing the game. Naye sinza byendaba ndaba nti there is some level of operation
okujigiriza
eri ku abantu abatali mu government abali on the other political sides. I've seen
olanga tebalina ddembe bulungi
tebalina ddembe tebakkirizibwa ku expressing their views. I think I heard of a march to parliament where people nga bali meant kutambula bagende ku parliament to express their discontent about corruption. Sibamativu because of recent, I think the biggest news of corruption is coming from parliament. And yet parliament yalina okukola ki okulwanyisa some of the things. So omuntu wa bulijjo alina mandate to express those views as long as they're doing it peacefully.
Kitegeeza ki mu byobufuzi okubanga ate enguzi esinga kuva mu parliament gye walowooza nti ate yandigirwanyisizza as a political analyst and a political scholar ekyo kivaawa?
You see, politics is about interests.
Okay.
If people don't understand, it's about interests. And sometimes those interests are personal. interests. Si buli muntu agenze mu parliament nti agenzeyo ku lulwo.
Oluusi agendayo ku lulwo.
Oluusi agendayo ku lulwe. And the majority of them go there ku lwabwe to achieve self-interest. Waliwo abantu bangi abajja mu parliament nga maybe the first time they came to Kampala was going to the university. So there were students here. So they go back and run for office and become parliamentarians. And when they come here, they think that, oh, this position is for me to make myself what? Better off than I was yesterday. So they are going to forget their role as parliamentarians and assume another role of an agent. Quiz our deal, you know. If I'm going to be bribed to be able to achieve somebody else's goals when I'm a parliamentarian, then I don't know what brought me to parliament.
Mu America kiri kitya? Mu America eriyo omwava asobola okuwangula katugeze. Kyentegeeza ku mwavu kuba kati ffe wano okubeera member wa parliament. Olina okuba ne ssente ezikumala. Bw'oba oyagala okwesimba olina okuba ne ssente ezikumala. Ebyo gamba nti oli mwavu jangu wenyigire mu bino tebikyakola. Mu America omwava atalina ssente asobola okuwangula akalulu.
Asobola okuwangula akalulu.
Atya.
Kuba mu America waliyo okufundraisinga.
Oku?
Yeah, they can fundraise for political candidates.
Kikyotegeeza abalonzi okuwa ssente?
Abalonzi ne bakuwa ssente. Because you are championing an issue that is dear to them.
Abalonzi ne bakuwa bagwa abalonzi ssente.
Nze siwa balonzi ssente.
Osobola okuvuganya mu America nga tuwadde balonzi ssente?
Ate bw'owa abalonzi ssente onaazijjawa. By the way, campaign financing is very restrictive in the US. When kuwa ssente for political campaigns, it must be strictly for that campaign. Yeah, I think if you are reading carefully, there has been a change in the Democratic Party candidates between Biden and Kamala Harris. And one of the problems they're dealing with is, people are donating money to Biden. Okay? What is that money going to do?
Baali
bamuwa sente.
Nga Biden eza campaign yeno.
Eza campaign.
N'agamba tagenda kwesimba.
However, Biden was not one person on the ticket. Kwani Harris. So what they are going to do, or what they are thinking about doing, is to transfer that money eberenge chali mu ticket. Nenga Biden erinya livuddeko. Now they are looking for the legal interpretation of that. Because you have to be very careful. But then those
anti Biden bwe yavaamu ezo ziba zize aziriye kubanga bawa Biden.
It is actually criminal to use that money for anything else. People have served jail time for that.
So naye tagenda kukizwa zikwatako.
Takizwa kuzikwatako. Uzikoza kirala.
Naye bazimuwa.
Bazimuwa.
Yokutaka luyompadde ssente nga yanga kampeni ngitadde mu $10.
Nzitese mu campaign yo.
Anti enkyane nga sijja kusobola kwesimbawo. Ne wali wazimpa.
Naye tekitegeeza nti ki ona kusikosa birala. You either return it or you transfer.
Nezo atomala yesimbyewo.
You transfer to the other campaign.
So kikolebwa kitya kinsomese omuntu awatya candidate center nkuyita nga nti sebo yesimbyewo because
there's actually
a system. We giving voters money. You are talking about voters giving a candidate money. How does it work?
There is a system in place where if somebody has been elected to represent their party on that particular position, the machinery will come out and fundraise for that person. They can use the social media, they can use emails, they can do whatever to reach those different people that are willing to donate money. When this lady is becoming the eventual nominee for the Democratic Party, that first week, when the president endorsed her to be the candidate, she raised over $250 million for the campaign. And actually 66% abamuwa sente bali bavubuka. People who are below 35 years of age. Kati
ezo sente ze bamwe bazimuwa bate baweza ku mobile money ye ku account ye because sikitegeera. Wenda tuchula nti milioni 2
bakuwa link nokosa visa card yo Mastercard yo no sending a cent.
Ziragawa zigenda wa zijja wa Harris Kamara
babera ne account which is receiving that money.
Yengo omuntu.
I've ever fundraised myself for a political candidate.
No muweleza sente.
Nemba muweleza sente.
Ng'osuubira kufunira muwa. Bamalanzi
bawangula zifunira mu policies zabagenda okukolako. Because I believe in the policies that they are talking about. So we have to have that mindset.
You a poor man. Michael Kaluuyo. You fundraise. Kumuntu esimbye okuwa president.
Sisi kumuwa $10,000 small contributions.
Nere zimanyiziwe.
$50.
$20 nga muli abantu akakadde kamumanyiza abaso.
Sente nyingi nnyo.
So kati ezo obanga abalonzi bamaze omuwa sente beyandiwadde. Kati ezo baba bamuwazaaki.
Akati bakola political ads, bakola abamu tasobola kugenda ku polling stations because they don't have transportations. They fund that to take people to polling. Abamu, during they hire volunteers. Some of them are volunteers. So most people are volunteers on political campaigns. They need water, they need refreshments, and so on and so forth. Mobilizing.
How is accountability enforced?
Does it what?
How is accountability enforced in that case?
So, the elections are managed by an agency. You're supposed to do filings every month about how much you have collected and how much you have spent.
Kisobola okukola mu Uganda kubanga inaale mu yatuula omwezi ogwokutaano negamba nti bandyagadde gwali gwa mukaaga bandyagadde wabeerewo ekkomo ku nsimbi abantu ze bakozesa mu campaign. Oluvannyuma lw'okukirealizinga nti abantu batandise okuteeka sente nyingi mu campaign kati nga bajja kwagala okumanya sente ozijjawa ozikezesezza otya. Naye bw'otunda system ya Uganda sente ezisinga bannabyabufuzi basobola kugulirira balonzi. Is it easy to enforce such a law here?
I think right now it is not easy to enforce, but it can be easier to enforce if we can actually have it in law. Umateka. Parliament neyiseteeka nti omuntu ayagala okumulonda cannot solicit money anyhow. They can only fund, because in America we have what we call public financing. Public financing means that you can actually opt for public financing or to receive money from private people. Most candidates have opted to collect money from the citizens and forego public financing. Public financing means that the government is going to fund your campaign. Nayenga mazo kulonda nti you are the nominee of the party, but that money is little to be able to carry out these expensive campaigns. So most candidates, what they do, they go for the private contributions from individuals.
And that gives them more money. That you mean the citizen can raise more money than the government can raise for a candidate?
Yes, they can do that. Because the government can only give you 300 million, let's say. And when, like this going campaign, it could be $1 billion plus campaign, both parties combined. Okay? There's also a Kujijamu government. It can only be collected from the private citizens. By the private citizens, including corporations, can also contribute to a political campaign.
So is it okay to company nga Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola esobola okuvaayo newa candidate sente?
Exactly.
Kati ate gwe wadde bw'atawangula tagigalawo.
Kugigalawo atya? tasobola
gwe Coca-Cola sente waziwa muyanga lutayi n'atawangula nze empangudde oba okyaddamu ofuna business mu ggwanga
eri waliyo freedom. Coca-Cola omugoza ba politicians bokka.
Do you want to buy land or construct a house? Worry no more. Boss Land Estates is here to serve you. We offer services in selling land on different roads that link you to Kampala City, land surveying, land title processing, letters of administration processing, general construction works, and property management. We allow payments in installments. Our plots of land are prime and are near main tarmac roads. Prices are affordable. Inspection is free. For more packages, call 0777 490 785. WhatsApp 0704 699 388 or visit our offices at Ham Towers, Level 4, Suite number HT54, opposite Makerere University, Main Gate. Boss Land Estates, we guide you home.
You are giving this candidate because he has some policies that favor you as Coca-Cola. Together. Could it be taxes or taxation? Could it be less regulations? That's why you're giving money. But it may not mean that we are actually going to achieve that. So it's a little bit of a gamble as well. The candidate go wada in the or winning. So if that candidate doesn't win, then those policies that adhere to you will not be implemented. But that does not stop you from giving money again next time around. We have lobbyists all over the place.
No lobbying.
No lobbying.
Gwenga omusomesa ate omukenkufu mu byobufuzi ate nga omutuuze mu Amerika. Olowooza Amerika etuuse ku level ekkiriza omukyalo gikulembera nga commander in chief. Is it possible?
I think so. From what I see. Initially we had Hillary Clinton running with Donald Trump last time around, when a woman ran. She had a lot of capabilities to win, but there is that element of the male voter not thinking that a woman can lead. So Trump never mulonda. Kati abantu abasinga bamanyi who Trump is. Together. And katufunye ate omukyalo omulala running nani? The same person gwe tumanyi enfuga ye. So there's a possibility that abantu bajja kukola ki bajja gamba nti tuweeko tulabe oba omukyala naye asobola kukola ki asobola okufuga. It can be a historical moment if omukyala are winning elections.
As a first woman.
As a first
woman president of the United States.
Yeah.
But do you really think a woman can run the United States?
Yes.
Given the intricacies of democracy, war, the economy, can a woman lead?
A woman can lead, and American presidency is guided by the system. The system operates. This is just a political head. There's a system in place that takes care of some of the things, the policies. You magala ko signature sometimes, and guidance on how to do it. Remember, we've had an African American president before who did a decent job. So I think the American population actually is changing over time. Until those who used to be the majority are becoming minority. Now those who used to be the minorities are becoming the majority. So you find in terms of diversity, America has become more diverse to the extent that it is possible okubeera n'omukazi president. And we have many women players in politics as well. We have governors, we have those at the Supreme Court, we have senators, we have Congress people, mayors, and so on and so forth. And some of them have done very well.
And you think the system and the infrastructure that exists can enable her to
exactly
perform?
Yeah, it can. And she has been a vice president, so she knows how the system works.
That's enough experience.
Just enough experience. And she can be surrounded by a lot of other advisors and so on. So
if the system works, what makes the difference between the performance of one president after the other? Because they find the same system, but in rating them, they will say, oh, best performing, this and that. Well, different parties have different priorities. Okay? So, much as the system is in place, priorities of the Republican Party are different from those of the Democratic parties. So, ugenda kwesanga nti now the system will rerun with what the Democrats are advocating for. Let's say if we have a Republican president, the system will still do what? Run with what this Republican president is actually advocating for. Now, it is again the role of the president to convince the lawmakers that this is what I want, these are my priorities. So if you don't have a Congress with a majority, sometimes you may have a hard time passing some of these regulations and so on and so forth, which is sometimes possible, that you may have a deadlocked Congress where you can't have anything that passes. So some presidents end up signing executive orders of so and so, so that they can have things happen at least. Uganda genda kuba n'okulonda omwaka ogujja actually 2025. The election year is 2025, although the actual election happens in 2026. But the Electoral Commission has already announced a roadmap for election activities. We are already in electioneering time. There is a feeling, like you have said, that other political players are not having enough space. What can they do to have more space?
Demand for the space. Keep on demanding for that space.
You demand it from the person who has dominated it, and you think he can grant it?
Well, you just keep on pushing.
Really?
Yeah.
And you'll have it?
Some of the things require that you are resilient in what you want. If what you are trying to advocate is genuine, and if it represents the people that you want to lead as well. Ole miracle. There are so many roadblocks that you're going to find though. But you must be persistent in what you're advocating for. That's what a political person needs to be. Ogenda okwesa anti ne government nayo einachi ine ebyayo naye eremerako ku byayo byeyagala. Kati gwe ali mu opposition nawe eremerako ku byoyagala.
We are experiencing a situation gye tulimu nga ebibiina by'obufuzi byoga nti byandibadde biweebwa space nabyo byennyini internally biri divided. Tumaddize myezi kati nga 6 mu kibiina ekimu ekimanyiddwa nga kya National Unity Platform, which is the leading opposition party. Nga president wakyo ne yali vice president we Mathia Mpuuga bali mu kukayana. FDC yenajja nankumbi abali amu ya Dr. Kizza Besigye is now split into two. As a political scientist, what is it that causes all this discomfort in political parties, that even within themselves internally there is no democracy, and then they seek to preach that
there might be a cause for that? And I've heard people say that sometimes government has a hand in dividing these political parties, and it's good for the government if they divided them, or if they are divided, that's good for the government. Yeah, so the government will do, or the political party in power will do what they can to make sure that the other group is divided, so they are disorganized. So they don't, when they come to compete with me, they're not competing with me on a level playing field, because they're divided amongst themselves as well.
To say that that division works for government?
That division works for the government very well. because it keeps the dominating power in the political space.
How can we help the political parties unite better and be a stronger?
We just encourage them to unite. But if that is possible, and if they resist the penetrations of the dominating political power, it's very hard actually to resist sometimes. I've heard of opposition politicians taking bribes, taking money. People sometimes lose their moral themselves to and be purchased for cheap. If you are a politician that you are championing for change, then you must remain to the change message that you are advocating for.
Are American MPs rich people?
Some of them are rich.
Some of them?
Yeah, some of them are the richest people that we have in the country, with businesses.
With business or with politics?
With businesses.
What do you mean?
Like
they make their wealth from businesses.
They make their wealth.
Are they allowed to do business?
Yeah.
You're a politician and you have business.
Yeah.
How do I compete with you? If you're a member of parliament and you have an oil company.
Remember I told you about the private fundraising?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. A person like me who does not have money can actually have a message that can fundraise a lot of money, and I beat a rich person in politics. It is very possible.
That's how it happens.
That's how it happens
in America.
Yeah, so we have politicians that don't own businesses as well in Congress.
Have you had an opportunity to meet President Museveni here?
Once.
Once.
I was an MC at a function when he came to Dallas.
Oh, just there. When you come to Uganda, you don't seek to meet him? Don't you think you have knowledge, economic and political, to share?
I would want to meet, but if I have other things that, if it's not my obligation to meet him, I don't want to meet him. But if I feel that I need to meet him, I can.
You need to meet
find
him.
A way.
This is your country. It's
yeah.
your country you call home.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can find a way.
Why would you not allow him share into your expertise on economics and politics?
I mean, if there is a reason for me to meet, I can meet. But if there is nothing, but I've met him once. I was just emceeing a function where he was in attendance.
Earlier this week, you met the Minister for East African Affairs and former Speaker of Parliament, Kamuli Woman MP, Michelle Rebecca Kadaga. Was it an official meeting?
It was an official meeting, which I arranged prior to coming.
What were the issues?
We talked about a lot of Busoga development in Busoga. Primarily, that was the main point of discussion.
The papers did report that you're talking about poverty in Busoga. What do you want to do about it?
So, we have an organization for lawyers and economists that is going around. We're not only doing Busoga region, but we are doing the entire country and beyond to help upcoming businesses to develop. Personally, I'm working on branding and quality enhancement measures in what they are producing. So I met a group. First of all, I met them on Zoom. I did a lecture with them on Zoom. I was in the US. And then I had to come physically to meet what they do, to experience the quality of the products that they have. So that was a very good opportunity for me to actually learn a lot of what they do and also give me a lot of insight in how I can help them to be able to develop better quality products. Those women were in Iganga that I met.
So you think you have discussed with Michala Kadaga a core plan for Busoga's development?
Yeah, we try to hint on that.
Are you aware that Busoga ranks highest in poverty levels here? Are you aware?
I'm aware.
Despite producing economists like you?
I'm aware. By the way, Busoga actually has the highest number of highly educated people.
True that.
And one of the things we're talking about is when the Honorable Minister, the Right Honorable Minister, came to the Tregate in the US in May, I was the moderator for the Educational Forum. That Educational Forum amazed me because I had these Busoga professionals that I'd never met. I don't know how many PhDs I had in the room. I don't know how many masters I had in the room, and I don't know how many professors I had in the room. And I was able to introduce them to the Honorable Minister, and I told her that we have over 100 degrees in this room. But how can we tap into these so many degrees for the sake of Busoga? So there is what they call the, I think, Busoga Consortium. That is why we are now trying to channel some of the ideas that we have to be able to go on the ground and help the people there, collaborating across so many other people.
We hope something good will come out of that. It is,
hopefully, yes.
The talking has been on.
Hopefully, yes.
The action never. But the talking has always been on, left, right, and center. Every other year you talk, and we... Because it's shameful that with you as senior economists, PhD holders, the region remains poorest.
Kamu kwe Muganda, I believe. And the good days for Busoga are yet to come. I see that.
Will you be here during the voting time, campaign period?
Partly, yes.
If you're here between Museveni, VCJ, and Bobi Wine, who do you campaign for?
I don't know who is running.
Oh.
Yeah.
We anticipate that Museveni, or his son, Muhozi, or the opposition leader, Chagulanyi, VCJ, and Lamafa will run.
Like I said, I'm an independent. I analyzed what these people are saying first before I cast a vote. So I'm looking forward to see, first of all, who is running. That is what number.
I thought as a professor of politics, you are aware that Ugandans are yearning for change.
Exactly.
It shows everywhere.
Exactly.
Who can deliver that change?
Who can deliver the change? The best candidate will deliver the change.
It's been great having you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The Sir Simon, the younger Taya.
This is Inside Out.